Our fourth key intervention is a drive for industrial growth. This is the context of a steady decline of a manufacturing base over many years. To place our economy on a new trajectory, we are going to support a massive growth in local production and make South African exports much more competitive. We will build on the work that was being done in several areas before the pandemic struck. Through the first two South African investment conferences, we managed to secure pledges of around 664 billion rand in new investment. To date, just over 170 billion rand of capital expenditure committed during those investment conferences has been invested in projects for construction and buying equipment that is essential to mining, manufacturing, telecommunications, and agriculture. Last year, South Africa recorded its first trade surplus with the European Union, driven by record exports of manufactured goods. Our country produced and exported more motor vehicles last year than in any previous year. And that records great progress about the capability of our manufacturing base. Our agricultural sector has continued to grow with a bumper maize harvest and the expansion of many high-valued crops. We have positioned South Africa as one of the most attractive destinations in the world for global business services. Despite the weaknesses in our economy, despite the devastation that has been caused by the coronavirus, these are some of the strengths on which we can build and strengthen the economy of our country. There are huge opportunities that we can seize through effective partnerships, targeted deployment of resources, and the right policies and active implementation of our plans. South Africa currently imports around 1.1 trillion rand of goods, excluding oil, every year. If we were to manufacture just 10% of those goods locally, it is estimated that we can add 2 percentage points to our annual GDP. The rest of Africa currently imports 2.9 trillion rand worth of manufactured goods from outside the continent every year. If South Africa were to supply just 2% of those goods that the rest of the continent imports, it could add 1.2 percentage points to our annual GDP. So these are the opportunities that lie out there for us to grab. And if we succeed in reaching our target of 1.2 trillion rand in new investment by 2023, it could add around 2.5% to our annual GDP. It is to realize this huge potential that the social partners have agreed to prioritize a range of consumer and industrial products for local procurement. During the course of our deliberations and discussions, all the 4 components of our social partners realized that herein lies a great opportunity for our economy. Together with business and labor, we will soon be publishing localization targets for goods in areas such as agro-processing, healthcare, basic consumer goods, industrial equipment, construction materials, and transport rolling stock. We will enforce government policies to ensure that all public infrastructure projects use locally made materials, including steel products, cement, bricks, and other components. We will support the efforts by organized business. We are planning to establish supplier development programs for large companies and in key sectors. And we welcome the commitment of our unions to ensure their investment companies increasingly invest in companies that buy from local manufacturers. The NADLEC agreement commits all companies and government entities to publicly disclose in their annual reports the value of procurement from local producers and on the steps taken to improve localization. Now, the social partners at NADLEC have also agreed to support a massive Buy Local campaign for this festive season, with a particular call to support women-owned enterprises, small businesses, and township enterprises as well. And we call on every South African to contribute to our recovery effort by choosing to buy locally made goods and to support local businesses. Yes, government will definitely do the same. This is one way that each and every one of us can contribute to building, to restructuring our economy, to restoring it, to rebuilding it, but also to get into the mode of a new economy. A central pillar of this work is the transformation of our economy, creating space for new Black and women entrants and take deliberate steps to change ownership and productive patterns. In promoting localization and industrialization, we will be focusing in particular on the development of small, medium, and micro enterprises, including cooperatives. This will take place alongside the development of rural and township economies. There are between 2.4 million and 3.5 million SMMEs in our country, with the largest number in the informal and micro sectors. They offer the greatest untapped potential for growth, employment, and fundamental economic transformation. Through a focused support program, we will support small businesses' participation in the manufacturing value chain. This will include targeting specific products for manufacture by SMMEs, for both and domestic market and for exports. It will also include the provision of business infrastructure support, financial assistance through loans and blended funding, facilitating routes to market, and assistance with technical skills, product certification, testing, and quality assurance. Economic growth cannot be realized without the inclusion and the active participation of women. Among the other measures we have outlined, we will be working with women-empowered companies to progressively reach our target of directing at least 40% procurement spend on such enterprises. This is a great opportunity that we are opening for women-led and owned businesses. This is also a vital part of our program to end gender-based violence and femicide, which is fueled by gender inequality, particularly economic disparities between men and women and gender non-conforming persons.